Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. This is episode number 165, and I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. And this week I'm joined by Scott, aka Scobie One. What's up going on, man?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It has been an age.
Hell yeah.
How are we doing
man.
today?
Good, man. And on the other side, we got Roger, aka Lunatic Oblivion. What's going on, man?
Oh my god, I'm here. Oh god.
We are here. It's a first in a very long time. It's probably been like 5 weeks, I think, give or take. But nonetheless, we are here to talk about the little bit of gaming news that is kind of going on right now. We kind of missed the hype of it, the peak of it during the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox showcase and the PlayStation showcase and all that kind of stuff. A lot of good stuff coming out of there. But yeah, man, how's everyone been over the last few weeks?
Not bad. Busy. So busy. So insanely busy.
Yeah,
How about you?
Yeah, honestly, being a supervisor at work, lot different, man. Lot different.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say like my job's been actually going extremely well. Like my new job has just been tremendous, and it's only going to get
Mhm.
better once my 90 days are up, because then I can start earning my commission checks and my profit sharing checks. Also get PTO, and then after the first year, I do get my ESOP as well, which that's going to be fucking fantastic in the long run. Hopefully I can retire.
And I know what ESOP is. I know Roger knows what ESOP is but for the individuals who are watching that might not know what that is, ESOP would be
Employee owned stock.
there we go. Okay, cool.
That's a way of summing
Just
it up, which is awesome. Yeah, hopefully by the time I retire, I can be a millionaire and be great. But nonetheless, yeah, the job's no, seriously. Like when my dad retires in 6 years and he sells all his ESOP, he'll have $2.5 million.
Put that shit in Boeing right now.
Right.
Put that shit in
I probably don't want to do that.
Boeing, Raytheon, and BAE.
Yeah. But yeah, man, let's talk about what we've been playing. If we had some time to play games, because it sounds like some people had more time than others to play video games over the past 5 weeks, give or take or so. So Scott, let's kick it to you, and then let's talk about all of the games you've been playing.
Man, I've been playing. I got a list here. It is. I've been playing the Oblivion remaster. That has been outstanding. When I'm not playing that, I've been playing the sequel to Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Some of you might have heard of it, Oblivion. They just did a remaster for that. And then if I'm not playing one of those two, so Skyrim actually has a prequel called Oblivion, and they just did a remaster of that. And so that's where I've been finding a lot of my time. I think in the past 5 weeks, I maybe have gotten 25 hours to 30 hours of like time to actually sit down and play. But when I'm doing it, that has been it for right now. And realistically, it's been one quest per like play session, just because I wholeheartedly forgot how long some of these quests are. I really, really did. Doesn't take away from it. It's still fantastic, and I'm still just happy to be playing that again. But as always, I got my go-tos, my PUBG, my Warzone, occasionally if somebody else is on, and then of course my mobiles, my Pokemon TCG Pocket, and my Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, man. And what about you, Roger? Actually, let's talk about Metaphor ReFantazio, since you've been playing that a ton lately, and you seem to not want to be able to put that down. Like, yo, do you want to play Crowns? You're like, no. It's either that or Rogue Trader. You're too busy playing.
My man's like, hey, what you doing today? And I was like, I'm playing Metaphor, man. What you want? What you want, man? He's like, what a game. I guess I will.
I guess I gotta put the
Are
controller
we playing
down.
Metaphor? Are we playing Metaphor? No, it's something else. I fucking guess.
Fucking guess I will.
But
Yeah, no, honestly, Metaphor's been awesome. It's such a great return to form for like playing an Atlas game. I have just truly missed Atlas games, and this just feels so good to kind of return to that.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it when I played it. It's just, I knew, well, I mean, you've talked about it, is like knowing that I have to invest like 60 hours plus into this game. I was like, I don't want to do it. Like, I just don't. There's too many good games out right now that I can beat in anywhere from 10 to 20 hours, and those are a lot more digestible than playing Metaphor. But nonetheless, Metaphor was a phenomenal game when I was playing it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I am excited to play the whole way through it. Like the loop, the content loop is great. It is honestly really well done.
Yeah. Definitely agree on that one. Let's talk about a game that me and you were playing together, or actually have played together and beat it already, and that's the recent game that launched into Game Pass day one, and that was Revenge of the Savage Planet. I'll take your opinion on the game first. What was your overall thoughts? And you, mind you, you also never played the first game either, so you went into this kind
Yeah,
of blind.
I did go into this blind, and it was definitely was something. Like it just it didn't take itself seriously, which wouldn't be a problem normally, but I was just kind of a little lost at times. Like, oh, what are we doing? Like, okay, we have to go here, do this. All right, like it, and they were like, oh, you got to collect dirt on these people and then send them to prison. You're like, okay, whatever, man. Like, I don't
Scan
like
this, scan
just
that.
yeah, and then they were like, okay, here's all your costumes and stuff, and I was like, that's cool, I guess. And then they're like, just wait till we release our stuff right now for all of the DLC, and you're like, cool, what's in the DLC? Extra planet? No, just cosmetics.
In photo mode and whatever else they wanted to add. I'm like, wait a
Like,
minute.
like, why do I care? Why would I waste my time with this garbage? But they're like, but photo mode.
Yeah, it was
It honestly,
I-
it was a good game one way through, one time through, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
on to
like,
the next
like
thing.
it wasn't like a bad game, which I'm gonna talk about a really bad game that I'm playing right now. But Revenge of the Savage Planet was like, it was a good game, and I can definitely see like the first one in my opinion was way better than this one.
Mhm.
Especially the ending too was night and day difference. I feel like we got to them, we were like, okay, I feel like I didn't do anything. Like I don't know what we accomplished by the end of it, other than like discovering that the dirty shit that one group of people was doing that I had no connection to apparently. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But like
Yeah.
we were talking about when we were playing, we were like, man, whenever you get these like extra abilities, like exploring the map becomes broken. Like a lot of the areas you see, you're not supposed to have like triple jump and jetpacks and shit, and all these like unlimited grappling hook that grapples in the air. Like, like it's fucking broken. You're like, okay, well, I guess I'm climbing to the top of this where I'm not even supposed to be yet.
I'm not even supposed to be here, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is a silly fucking game. Like I don't know, man. I don't know about this game.
Yeah, I feel like it could have just been DLC to the first one, in my opinion,
Mhm.
and then you would add like a nice solid foundation and continuation of the story. But yeah, the costumes were interesting though. Like you were playing as like a fucking pink kitty or whatever costume, and I was playing as Dave the Diver.
Meow.
And I was Dave the Diver. I'm like, okay. But the running animations had to have been one of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
So dumb. It
Like,
was beyond stupid, man. I just was like, what the fuck are you doing?
running like a straight cartoon character, and you're like, all right, I guess we're here. Oh shit.
All right, man, go for it.
And then like it had like the base building aspect of it where like you can customize the inside of your base, and you're like, every time that we spawned in, I would just place like one random furniture, like, did you see anything new that I added to the house?
And like, did you check out what I added? And I was like, no, I fucking didn't check out what you added. What the fuck?
The
I
first
don't
thing
care.
I built was a fucking hamster wheel that you can't even use in the game. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I want to be able to hop in
man.
it and run laps, bro. Let me run laps. Yeah, it's just definitely a goofy ass fucking game.
That's a nice hamster wheel. What does it do?
Nothing.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it does. Yes.
It's definitely there. It is one of the most there things.
No, but what was cool is when I did place a bed, every time I spawned in the fucking bed like Minecraft. But Roger, where did you spawn at? Oh, the fucking
I was
tent.
spawning on
You
like,
were-
a card box, I think. And I was like, this is cool. This is where I live now. This is my life.
He's the homeless guy in the fucking building. Fucking nuts. Oh man. I'm trying to make sure I don't get fucking hiccups because I'm that close to hiccups.
It didn't take itself seriously ever. And you know what? I respect it for it.
Yeah.
Some people would like that, like a game that doesn't take itself too seriously.
Mhm.
Makes for a fun game, but it doesn't always make for a fun game. It doesn't always make for a game that is good.
And there was not a single
Yeah.
part of the game that was hard, period.
Yeah.
Even the boss battles, if that's what you want to call them.
There you go,
Boss
easy.
battles? What boss
It's
battles?
we call that a confidence builder. right? You give somebody something easy, something they can just bang out, build that confidence. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it was definitely a palate cleanser for sure. And talk about another palate cleanser, honestly, because like me and Roger are starting to play like more cooperative games every Tuesday now, and that was our game that we beat, and then we started a new one called Kingdoms Two Crowns or Kingdom Two Crowns,
Hmm.
and I remember seeing this on added to Game Pass recently. I was like, nah, it looks stupid. Like it was a game I genuinely would not have picked up. And Roger was like, "Yo, let's play Kingdoms Two Crown." And I was like, "You pick whatever, we gonna play whatever." Because he gets me into games that I normally would not play, and this is definitely one of those games that I would not have played by myself. A game that I would not even have downloaded to my Xbox or PC. And here we are, we're playing it, and it's a very interesting game. But Roger, what's your take on it? I'm gonna get a video up so people can understand what we are playing for this one.
Honestly, this game it's a base builder, but it's like super minimalistic. Like the game doesn't hold your hand. The game's like, go, you're in, play. And you're like,
build.
wait, what? What am I doing? And they're like, find the money. And you're like, what money? And they're like, find the rangers. You're like, what fucking rangers? They're like, hire hunters, put money here. And you're like, okay. And then you'd hit levels and they're like, do you have money? And you're like, no. And they're like, why? Because you fucking suck. And you're like, I agree with you.
It's fucking
And you
better
get to a point, your game's like crushing you. And you're like, why am I losing? And they're like, it's okay. You're meant to die. And
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
gonna start this over again.
oh, it's a roguelike. And they were like, yes, start over and you get all your shit back. And you're like, okay, now you just rebuild the stuff. And you're like, why is everyone homeless? Because they lost everything when you left them.
Oh, no,
and you're
no.
like, oh, okay, now I feel terrible.
Failed all of them. You failed to protect any of them. But speaking of builders, I did forget one of my games that I did play was the RuneScape Dragon Wilds.
I
While we were on our
really
little
looked at
hiatus.
the game. I really wanted to try it. How is it? Real talk.
Honestly, real talk, $30. You can't beat it. I mean, it's fun. It's it reminds
it-
me so like
There was your lizard that let him on fire.
it is RuneScape Valheim, or it is Valheim RuneScape. It's definitely harder than Valheim. I will
Mhm.
say that. Valheim definitely got hard at sometimes. But like this shit was this. It was fun. It was I hadn't played RuneScape in years, like better part of decades at this point, right?
Yeah.
But going back into it, like it was fun. It was super fun. It ran well. It's got a pretty good like story system going on in there. And then yeah, at that point it was just your builder survival like mechanics that you would expect from like Valheim, things like that. Where it was fun, and they made it pretty easy to be honest. As far as the building goes and doing all that, like you can get magic in there, and as you get the magic, you know some of the magic is like an eye that lets you see structures that you can build, and then as long as you have all of the stuff, you can build it. Now,
Okay.
of course, you can destroy certain parts of it and add on to it and do things like that. But it made for a really fun time. It really
Does it
did.
care about like Valheim does, where like things have to actually be able to fit on top of each other, or they collapse, or if something breaks, everything collapses above it, or
It doesn't break. You just can't put it there. If it doesn't fit, you can't put it.
okay, but if like
Yeah.
something destroys the bottom of your base, the top doesn't disappear.
So yes, yeah, it's got like if it's a foundational piece, like that whole shit's going down.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So
Yeah, I see that it says the game December 2025 they'll have Fell Hollow, then Q1 2026 they'll have Dowdun Reach, Umbral Sands Q2 2026, and then in Q3 of next year they'll have Scorned Wilderness, and then they'll have 1.0 by the end of 2026. So like this game, it looks like you're going in for the long haul if you're buying this. This is early access for over a year, it looks like.
honestly, and for the $30, the over the year like timeline, well worth the money. It really is. There's a lot of like if I didn't know that it was already like an in development beta and all that good stuff, like it could release as a full game at this point. Not a very well done one, but still a full game nonetheless. the mechanics that they have there, the actual gameplay is fun. Your questing and stuff like that is super cool. Yeah, I mean, it could easily have been put out as a ready to play game, and then maybe a patch or two, maybe. So for the
Yeah,
$30, you really can't beat it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying some bad things about it, and it says it's very mixed right now on the reviews, which is what it interests me. Like overall, it says 82% positive, but like recently in the past 30 days, 60% of players said it was good, which is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, and it's not surprising that you get mixed reviews because don't forget you're also coming from a huge RuneScape crowd. Who has been playing RuneScape for 20 years. Like they have been going off of this shit for forever, and in some cases it might be the only game they play.
RuneScape came out in 01.
They're like okay, so 24 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, and and so they might be coming in expecting a lot more or a lot different than what Dragon Wilds gives you. But overall, like it's a good game. It's not bad. It's definitely fun. You can play when you play with friends. It's good there. You all get your base going on. The one thing I will say is if anybody if you join the server or like somebody else's server, any quest that you might have had to do if they're further ahead than you, you don't get any quest rewards or anything like that. You don't get those. It definitely had a little bit of a Cataclysm feel because there's some dragons flying around, and that's awful. It is awful when that happens because they attack you for what feels like an hour. It's only like 3 to 5 minutes, but man, it feels a lot
horrendous.
longer. It feels so much. It feels so much longer. Yeah. So, but yeah, when you said base builder, I completely forgot that I was playing Dragon Wilds at one point in our big hiatus.
Yeah.
And so yeah, definitely a fun game. I would say even if you're interested for a $30 price point, it's not bad. It's not bad. We pay more for less.
Without a doubt, which I'm gonna talk about one here in a little bit. But I just wanted to circle back to Kingdom 2 Crowns because like it's really been generally a really enjoyable experience. Like we played for hours. Like I think we're well over 10 hours now at this point, and we only had like 3 game sessions or some shit like that, and it might be even more. We might be up to like fucking 15. We like get lost, so we're just having a fucking ball and like going crazy and just trying to figure out what, because the game doesn't explain to you anything, and you just kind of got to figure it out. And we just been googling some of the shit just so we understand, like, because you really have no idea what some of the shit does.
I'm like, what does this fucking homeless guy do for me? And they're like, figure it out. And you're like, how? What do I do?
And then they're like, I'm not homeless.
So I maximized our base, and like there was like this symbol that had like a bomb, and Roger was like, yeah, you can just make a bomb, blah blah blah. And it was like, okay, cool. No, what is that? That's not what it is. And then I ended up creating like the end game fucking bomb where you fucking push that shit to the enemy's portal and blow it up. And we were like, oh, now we understand the gameplay loop. But yeah, man, let's talk about a couple more games here. Since we don't got a ton of news to talk about, we can pretty much go into depth in a lot of these. Roger, let's talk about Rogue Trader for you and Jordan there behind you, or have been playing that a lot.
Yeah, Rogue Trader has been awesome. Like, I started playing, I have this weird habit of picking up games, and then, like, within a little bit of time, they're like, hey, did you know we're actually going to release a sequel? And you're like, no, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm super excited now. So like I'm through the moon, dude. Like they've announced now that that Warhammer 40K from Owlcats is getting another game. It's not a direct sequel, but it is definitely another 40K game just like Rogue Trader, and I am so hyped for it. And Rogue Trader is one of those games like I missed it. I saw it come out, was like, I don't know if I want to pay the $60. Honestly, if you don't have Game Pass, $60, this game is worth it. It is worth every penny.
Yeah, I got some gameplay up here for anybody that is watching the video here. Seems pretty. What genre would you say this is?
Oh, this is just
It's a
a
CRPG.
RPG. Yeah, it's a CRPG,
Yeah.
and
Top
it
down
is
RPG, yeah.
it. I liked it myself more than Baldur's Gate just because the overall game's way of addressing stuff wasn't like, I want to have to beat every little thing in the starter zone and like in chapter 1. I like the space combat was actually flushed out. Like you're going into levels and you're fighting things like fucking the end of chapter 1. Like this game's been out for a while, so I'm gonna put a little spoiler here, sorry to say, but like you literally walk into the end of like the first chapter and a fucking chaos space marine kicks through a fucking wall and he's like, you, and you're like, I'm not ready to fight a chaos space marine. What the fuck
Dude.
is he doing here?
You
And
are
he's like,
today.
Spoilers.
and then fuck your mom, and you're like, I bet you would.
Fucking spoilers.
Spoilers.
Fucking spoilers.
What if I wanted to play the
Uh,
game?
Yeah,
Well, I guess I
it's
don't got to. I guess I could just skip to fucking chapter 2.
Dude, it's only the beginning, my friend. It is an awesome game. Take some time if you're looking for an RPG to play. It is a lot of hours though, but the storytelling is well worth it. And there are moments where it just feels good to choose the path you want to choose. And I chose dogmatic. I lean a little iconoclastic with, the overall good of mankind versus like for the emperor. And there are times where you're like for the emperor and like you literally just get divine intervention and you're just like, I'm here to fuck. Like, okay, cool.
Good 50 Cent word with the iconoclastic. That's a very niche word that people hear from time to time now.
Yeah.
Love that.
And it's the word they use for the alignment, because I like the alignments in this as well. There's a very distinct way where you can follow your alignments they're very specifically laid out so you can follow through on them.
That's pretty dope. Let's talk about another game that I thought was pretty dope too, and that's Doom: The Dark Ages. Not sure if either one of you guys have had a chance to check it out. I think you may have started it or got a good bit done through it.
Never beat it.
Yeah, I've beaten it. I've never played Eternal, but I did play 2016, some kind of basing it on that. But I do know like Eternal is like extremely fast paced and like very like speed run heavy. So playing this has a complete like a different take on it, because like you are a fucking tank and you feel heavy in this fucking game. Like you cannot jump. Like when you fucking land down on the ground, like you send out like this massive fucking shockwave and kill everybody that's around you. Like it's insane.
You superhero landing on people. That's all
Yes.
I'm saying.
It is a pretty badass. And then like the introduction of like the mechs that you get into and the dragon flying, it could be better. Like the whole like combat felt very terrible in my opinion. Like you're really just like button mashing with the mech suit, and then the dragon, like you literally just like lock on and you can't miss. You just gotta you dodge one way or the other, and then it automatically gives you like an enhanced bullets that actually does damage to them. Then, and the only way to get your enhanced damage bullets is by dodging, which has a like why does that have any correlation? Beats me, but
Yeah,
you know,
like dodging as an additive mechanic. Like you need to dodge this many times you need to dodge 4 times to get your special.
not even
bullet.
no, just dodge once.
Oh, that's better.
Just dodge once, you get better bullets and you actually fucking kill shit. And like you
Yes,
don't
I'm
miss,
not
you
hoping
can't
I
miss.
got
Like
the
your accuracy by the time you're done with the mission will probably be 100% because you can't miss. So like
Love that.
those, like they feel like they could have flushed out and did a lot better. But like when you're Doom guy and you're fucking shit up, like you are fucking shit up, and there is no chance.
Well, John Doom doesn't miss.
Not at all. Like you really do feel like a badass, and like some of the upgrades that you can do with some of the guns, it's really dope. And I love like a lot of the secret areas. Like it like kind of like makes you want to explore, and like you can understand like, okay, if I go this way, that is going to progress the story, but I bet you there's something else over here. And then next you know you're finding like collectibles, which are toys of like the different enemies that you fight and kill. The rubies, your special upgrade currency, gold as well. But yeah, I thought the story was overall enjoyable too. Like through and through, by the end of it, I was like, okay. And like I feel like it kind of like leads into like Doom 2016 in a way, in an odd way, because this is technically a prequel to both
I
of
was
them.
gonna say, does it lend itself to being a prequel?
Hmm.
Like
Very
initially?
much so,
Okay.
yeah.
I, I
Because
don't
like
pay too much attention to the Doom series, so
yeah,
it's
it's
so it's
really
a
interesting because like you start off like you're a pawn, like you were completely controlled. Like the people who own you can like fucking just send you right from their ship, right? Like you fucking spawn on the planet. They go, okay, your mission's done. Zoop, fucking bring you right back up, and you have no control over that shit. And like by the end of it, that's not the case anymore, like at all. and and it's pretty dope on like what happens in regards to that. But it's like okay, like you really watch him become like a fucking independent badass by the end of the game.
So do you move up from like pawn to like knight, and then like maybe bishop, and then
Pretty much, if you want to use it in chess terms, yeah, like you definitely move up the ranks without a doubt.
I was like given the time period, that would make sense.
They do like lean heavy into the whole like parrying thing, and like the enemies, if you the only thing that you can parry is like the green bullets or whatever they fucking throw at you. The hellscape, I think, is what it's called in the game. And it's like that seems like a bit out of place in a way. Like I don't know, like it just seems like it didn't feel right. And like you're sending those back, and you're just doing massive amounts of damage. And like it's not like the parrying window was like big as fuck. There was like you couldn't miss. I mean, Roger, I don't know about how your experience was, but I feel like you definitely couldn't miss at all. The game felt too easy.
The game, the loop itself, just was taking too long. Some day it just felt slow.
Yeah, it's definitely a night and day difference compared to Eternal in 2016. That is without a doubt. But that's awesome though. With from id Software, man, like all three Dooms are dramatically different from one another, and that's awesome to see. But it'll be interesting to see what they do next because I don't think another Doom is in the works. Rumor has it they're moving on to like a Quake like remake or brand new entry into Quake, but time will only tell on that one. But
Desire to know more intensifies.
yeah. Roger, let's talk about one more game from you, and then I'll talk about the best game of the year so far. Roger, talk to me about The Alters.
So The Alters is probably one of my favorite games this year. It's like in top 3. It feels like everything I want in a exploration sandbox like base building game. Like you're crashed on a planet, you're like, what the fuck's going on? Then you try to find everyone. Everyone's fucking dead. Okay, I'm alone. And they're like, good luck. And you're like, I found what you sent us here to look for. And they're like, whoa, whoa, wait. Okay, we'll help you. You know what? Use that mineral you found and create something here. And you're like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You open up the thing and there's a fucking sheep, and you're like, what? Like, awesome. So it worked, and you're like, yeah, I guess you have a fully grown adult sheep in the ship, and you're like, okay, cool. And they're like, all right, awesome. Now make another one of yourself, and you're like, what? What? You want me to do what? And so yeah, and so you get to choose which alternate personalities you want to clone and make clones of. And like choosing the specific order is really important, and there's just a lot to this game. It feels so good, and I like the idea of like having to manage your own little like electrical network, and like you can't just like fast travel. You have to fast travel using legitimate teleportation that was created for the purpose that like there's short range teleportation in the world, but the only way to do the short range teleportation is by building an actual structure that can teleport you. So like, yeah, you want to go exploring, but then you're like, oh shit, I forgot to I don't have anything to teleport. And the maps get slowly bigger and bigger and bigger until they're just like the third map you're on is like huge, and it's like 3 stories high, and it's just really well designed. I'm in love with the game so far, and it just feels fun to play. And the base management isn't overly oppressive, like so many other base management games where they're like, sorry, you made a mistake on day 1. That's gonna come fuck you on day 32, and you're gonna have to restart.
Yeah,
Like
I-
it definitely feels like this War of Mine where you're building that base and you're trying to stay alive. It just it you can feel the games that have come before it and what they took out of it, and then the first person exploration that you get from it just works out so well.
yeah, I love the comparison to like Fallout Shelter when you go into that
Mhm.
like side view of looking like when they're putting the bases around and shit like that. Like that's heavily inspired with Fallout Shelter. But yeah, this game's
Yep.
definitely been on my radar since it's been announced. And when I played the demo, I was like, okay, I don't want to play no more because really don't want to spoil anything
hmm
going into this shit.
It's an awesome game, but it is going to take you quite a few hours. Like,
Yeah,
but it's
it's actually
cool.
not too
Every
bad
day
of
you
it.
jump in, you're doing a full day every time, and it feels good every time you jump in.
Yeah, I have it here. The altar should take 17 to 22 hours to beat, which isn't that's not too bad for me. Way more digestible than a 60 to 80, without a doubt.
My man, those are Trump hours. That's all I'm saying. You'll be fine. Figure it out.
Do better. All right, last one here. Game of the year worthy. Mind's Eye. So, not sure if anybody knows much about it. I'm gonna get a video up here in a second, but basically, ex creators of GTA branched out, made their own game, and it's been getting heavily fucking beat on before you even released. As oh, this is just a GTA clone. No, it's probably the complete opposite. This game is fucked like through and through. I'm not even going to lie. It is buggy. It is janky. You can't do like anything. Like it has this massive world, but it's not open in at all. Um, I'm trying to get this video up here just so you. Here you go, baby. Um, so you have this massive world, but it's not open world. It's like strictly linear. But like you drive in your car from base to mission, and the entire time they're just like talking to you on a phone, and it's just like you're driving only like 5 miles, 7 miles in the car, and you're like, bro, for what? Like, what are we doing? Like, if it's not an open world game, just make it linear and let me start at the beginning of the mission. Like, shooting feels very clunky. Driving actually doesn't feel too bad. Graphically, it looks fucking beautiful. Um, and like the premise of the story of what's happening is really dope, but it is a really, really bad game. Like, this game needed to be delayed for at least another year before it came out. Like, I literally that mission right there where you're side by side in that car. I had to redo it like several times because it said I was too far from him, but the car was right in front of me. And like you
Love
can
that.
fail at
Love that for
stupid
you.
shit. Like, and there was like a bunch of bugs that I didn't experience, but like you'd be in the middle of a cutscene and it'd be like you failed the mission. You're like, the fuck did I do or didn't do?
You fucking
You
you
could do it,
what?
but the thing is, there wasn't anything that you could do or not do. It just fucking was bugged, and like you would just fail the game over and over and over in the middle of a cutscene. You're like, bro, like what is going wrong? But yeah, I mean, maybe, and then like the
Uh,
roadmap looked very promising too, like that they put out, and I was like, okay, but it's like, I think this game could be one of those redemption arc games where like a year from now, this game is going to be pretty good, but by then it's probably a day late and a dollar short.
yeah.
You know, and I just think that's the issue. I do know like before the game was coming out, like the developers were like really pissed off because they felt like Rockstar was like paying people to talk shit about their game before it even came out, and then like it came out and it definitely did not deliver at all.
They're
But
like, no, they were just trashing on us because they hating, and they're like, no, it's because your game's bad.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's because they played it. They actually didn't get any money for that. They just played the game,
yeah,
and they
and
thought it was
it's
shit.
just
They
like
thought it was
really
shit.
weird. Like your car is the only car that you can get in. Like you can't like
hmm
hijack anybody's vehicles. Like you can't get out and like you can see it right there. He's like standing right next to the truck. You cannot go into anybody else's vehicles. You can kill whoever you want in this game basically, and nothing happens. Like no police, no reactions, no nothing. You're just like okay, like this game feels very lifeless and like it's not reactive in any way. And then like the highway drive, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was playing like Midnight Club with how much fucking traffic was on there, just trying to dodge that shit. Um, but I do not recommend this game right now. This might be a game that you wait and see, but At least I can say that I played a bad game for once. Still not done with it yet. I probably have a few more missions left, but we'll see. We'll see how it ends up.
Vic's gotten pretty lenient with his grading system over the past, I would say, year or so, and so this is gonna be probably like a 7.5, I think. when it's all said and done.
Right now, it's at a 4, and it's not
Great
doing
games
so
used to be great games used to be 6s, so we'll see how this goes.
well. Yeah, so there's that one. Hopefully it I just realized that you guys weren't even watching the video at all. I'm so fucking great
So
at that.
I looked over and I saw Roger also looking, and I was like, okay, cool. It's not just me.
It's not just you,
I
yeah.
was like,
I was like,
you're like, you can see that here, and I was like, I refreshed.
I
the
don't think
Twitch
I
and
can.
everything. I
You're
was
like, wait
I
a
was
minute.
I
My bad.
refreshed it all. I was like, click, refresh.
Well, it's not like you missed anything at all. That's
I
a
was
good
like, how far behind am I? And then I was like, oh no, it's just not there. I was like, yeah, it's so much
Yeah.
better.
it's
so much
so
better for
bad
you.
he couldn't even share the screen.
Yeah.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it and post at it. Well, he didn't want to. He didn't want,
Yeah, I didn't want to show it.
Like throwing actual shit on Twitch.
Oh
Man.
shit. And then this real quick, Scott, how close are you to completing that last Pokemon pack or set? I feel like I'm like 2 away because like they're taking forever to release another one.
Dude, I'm telling you, they fixed, quote unquote, the percentage drop rates. They had to have, because there was only like 69 cards, nice, in this one, and I'm at like 63, I think.
Mhm.
And it's I've been above 60 for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and it's just what
Yeah,
am I at?
The cards that I need are going to be really tough to get. Like even if I wanted to buy them with the pack points or whatever, it's like 150 or 500.
Yeah, and it's just ridiculous. They went out of their way to make it hard.
Yeah, I'm at 61 out of
anything.
They
69.
want your money. Do you not understand? God.
Well, so it would have been fine if they didn't also do the same thing with Celestial Guardians. I'm at 62 out of 69.
Mhm.
But don't forget they don't include secret rares in the actual card count.
Right, which is
So
weird.
yeah, well, it's very weird. But like I'm at 62 out of 69 on that. But like Celestial Guardians, I'm at 101 out of 155. Like just it was so much bigger, and they were like, yeah, you get 2 weeks on that. Here's existential crises on there, extraterrestrial crises. I'm like, what? I'm like, why are you guys doing this to us?
All right, slow down, bro. And then now they fucking listen. They were like, all right, I need new packs because like I ain't pulling nothing new. I'm just wasting my time.
Well, and at one point I was doing all of the new promo stuff that came with the new pack, and at one
Mhm.
point I had 300 or I had almost 300 of the, damn it, what are they called?
Like the special currency or whatever.
Yeah, the currency. Yeah, I had like almost 300 of those, and then I went and I was like, I'm gonna do 10 packs of Extraterrestrial Crisis,
Oh yeah.
and I got like
Thought you were.
I got like 3 new cards. I was like, you fucking rad bastards! I was like,
and this
I
is why
hate
I'm not
all of
spending money in the game.
I was like, pack hourglasses. I have 81
Oh, yeah, that
right
was
now.
legit.
I was like, this is why I don't do this shit. Like, this is why I do this stuff like occasionally
Yeah.
when I'm like sitting on the couch in the morning or like on break at work. Like, this is why I don't care about this damn game anymore. Like,
You guys were like, when are you going to play? And I was like, never.
Never.
Ever, ever. Never. I don't need another card game.
But it's really just open 2 packs and turn it off, like, and that's it. Like
Yep.
one at
yeah,
6 a.m. and one at 6 p.m. and that is it.
or they do like drop events. So if you like
Yeah.
play against if you do a solo battle or whatever, you get
Yeah.
a promo card.
That might be the only time I
know,
battle in the game is for those. I don't go out of my way to do the regular
it's for a
battles.
promo card that you don't want for a deck that you also don't want to play something you don't want to play. But
it's addicting
But
just
you'll
to open
like
the
it.
pack. Yeah.
but collecty brain go, I need it,
Yep.
and so I still play the game and collect the cards.
Monkey brain CPAC, monkey brain freak out.
Monkey horde brain go, monkey horde brain need card, and
Yeah.
that is it. Monkey horde brain get card. Monkey horde brain good for 12 hours. That's really how it goes.
Yeah, like I'm out here playing fucking Magic, and I'm like, I don't need to open packs. That's not what I care about. Jordan's like, why do you have so many packs? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I just do.
I don't need
Leave
them.
me alone.
Because fuck them. That's why the meta pack is 20 cards and I already have it. So why would I open any more packs?
I'll just buy the things I need with wild cards.
There you go.
Like I just, that shit bothers me. Where games are like, you need like a bunch of dust to do this game's like, all right, you get a wild card. You own 4 of these cards. Wild card. Cool.
All right,
If you scan it, you own it. Here you go.
Yu-Gi-Oh used to do that back on the PS1. Like, they had the fucking codes on the bottom. You can just like put it right in the fucking the PS1 Yu-Gi-Oh game. But then it would
It
cost
sure
like
fucking did.
it had like a high ass price tag for the in-game currency to buy, and I'm like, I don't even have one. I'm never going to buy these.
Here it is. Now all of these cards are available. Oh, you want a Karibo? That will be 30,000.
Like, yo, okay, buddy.
Was it gold at that point, or points or something? I think no.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't need that Karibo that's worthless.
Yeah, don't need it.
I don't need his worthless ass.
God help you if you want a Dark Magician. You were done.
Who?
He's in the game. All right,
Never heard of
guys.
it.
So let's go ahead and move on to the gaming news. There are no industry news over the last week, per se. Definitely missed a few over the past 5 weeks, but nothing really relevant to talk about now. But let's go ahead and talk about what we can talk about in the gaming news. All right, kicking it off here with Xbox. As always, they actually are been pretty active, especially ever since the showcase. They did announce with Black Ops 7, they have confirmed that there will be no wall running or jetpacks. Thank fucking God. Boots on the ground, baby. Movement will be an evolution of the Omni movement. Okay. I'm not a big fan of Omni movement, but hopefully it fixes it. And then the game is set 30 years before Black Ops 3, which is the reason why there's no jetpacks in the game, because in 30 years, then you'll have jetpacks. But yeah, so shout out to Black Ops 7 that we didn't need because we just had Black Ops 6. But, Call of Duty will be Call of Duty at this point.
You'll buy it, you'll like it, and you'll say
we
thank
don't
you.
have to buy it anymore, bro. It's on Game Pass.
I mean, there are tons of people who don't have Game Pass, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and they're going to buy it.
Yeah, they're missing out. For some reason, if you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, head scratching. All right, man. They were really active with their hardware announcements recently. They did announce their partnership with AMD moving forward. That's who's been making their chips anyway. But they did announce it in a video per se. I'm gonna play. I think this is like the whole thing, but it's like Sarah Bond just talking about like their partnership with AMD moving forward, making the chip and next hardware. It's going to be in their next generation console, as well as handhelds, which we're going to talk about here in a second. With the most recent one that they did announce. Man, Xbox is just really thriving, man, and actually no, I can talk about it now because we're not talking about the handheld because that was already announced. The ASUS. The Rogue Xbox Ally, or whatever the fuck it's called, looks really badass. Making the controller grips on the end makes the ergonomics, I think, a lot better. But like it blends it really well because I feel like what they did with the PlayStation Portal on the other end didn't. Like I feel like that didn't look great, but like what they did with the ASUS Xbox Ally, it looks really good. And I've been thinking about playing it or getting one of those because like you basically have access to every game store right there. Your Xbox, your Steam, Epic, which is fucking great. And I'm really curious because we talk about it all the time is like if I play games on like a Steam or Epic, do I get the Xbox achievements? And I think we're getting closer and closer and closer to that. Where if I do play it on those, I still get the fucking achievements on my Xbox because that stuff still matters to me on trying to have the highest gamer score. But yeah, so that was a pretty big announcement there with AMD. And then the other one that came out of nowhere is the announcement of the Xbox Quest 3S. Not really an official announcement yet. It has been leaked already. Whether they are true or not, this is what the packaging apparently looks like. And Xbox is just taking over everything in gaming, man. Like I do like their third-party approach, but like they're doing it in such a different way to say how Sega handled it when they got out of the hardware market. Xbox is like, we're not fully there, but we're still there, but we're also going to go third party. And it's just like the combination of just like play anywhere is huge. Like that is what their messaging is right now is Xbox play anywhere. Whatever the fucking device you want to play on, go play it on. Look, You want to play Xbox on the Quest now? Go play Xbox on the Quest. You want to play it on the handheld? Play it on the handheld. Mobile, PC, it does not matter to them. Where everyone else is kind of, I feel like they're lagging behind, and I think they're just going to miss the ship. That's it. I think Xbox is actually hitting it on the timing too, as opposed to before. The Xbox One, when that first came out, was way too far ahead of its time. Whatever they were trying to do then backfired, but ended up becoming reality. But what's you guys' thoughts on the Xbox Meta Quest? Roger, I think you had the Quest, right? Didn't you?
I have the original Quest, and then Jordan has the Quest 2.
Yeah. So
And honestly, it's one of my favorite VR systems, like that I've used. It supposedly doesn't have the best tracking, but honestly, it's great. It does such a great job.
yeah, I never had any issues. Like I played it. Brandon Debo's his Quest there for a little bit, and that was actually a lot of fun. And it seemed like there was no latency issues, no lagging, nothing. It just felt like it was running pretty good. But I'd be curious to see like if they find any kind of incorporation into like being able to pair it with your console at all, because like you don't need your console to play the Quest, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted there, Scott, if you're trying to talk to us.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, but I have color. I could see them making like if you pair it with your Xbox or something like that, like you get additional in-game content, things like that. But we called this a while back. I think at some point, I think I want to say it was late last year, where we said give it 6 months to a year, and Xbox is going to be playing on everything. Whatever it is, it's going to be an Xbox. And this is just
Yeah, I do remember that. That was when they announced their first beginning of like this is an Xbox campaign, and they were calling everything an Xbox, whether it was a fucking toaster or a fridge
toaster,
or
Xbox.
it was an Xbox.
Microwave, believe it or not, Xbox.
Yeah,
Like that was it. So it's nice to see that they are still, working towards global domination as they would. And hopefully when the Quest 3 comes out and is playable and stuff like that, I mean, I could see a lot of success from that.
yeah.
Particularly with a lot of Xbox games over the past couple of years. Like,
I'm
they
just
could have
interested to see how it works, because like,
well, you put it on your head.
Yeah, I know. I just
understanding.
mean what their plan
Yeah,
for the Xbox integration and things like that, if they're going to brand it as an Xbox Quest.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it'll have like an Xbox overlay. Like hopefully it's better than what the game bar is here on the PC, which they said it is. Like their new enhanced, like their new compact mode or whatever they're calling it, is supposed to be really good. It looks cool just from the quick snippets that we have, but how it handles and user friendly it is yet to be desired.
I mean, they make Microsoft Windows, and we both can talk about how great the Xbox game bar is.
Right, but the program that runs on like the handheld and the Quest are like different versions of Windows 11. Like it's a different like type of it, so like that's always been an issue. But that's also why it's been better on these devices too, is because like they're specifically developing for that. For some reason, I don't know what they're doing on the PC, because like you own PC or Windows and you own Xbox. Like how can't you get like an overlay game bar to work on your own shit? Like I don't see why that's an issue. But maybe now, like where their focus is, like everywhere, PC included, like they're rebranding to Xbox PC, whatever, and they're definitely on like hitting on all cylinders. And if the way they look at Game Pass has been cooking too. Like I feel like I'm glad. Like I actually made a post the other day. I was like, I'm really glad I made my switch from the PS2 to the 360 and never jumped ship ever again. Like I'm so glad I stuck with the Xbox platform, just because of like watching the evolution of them, the ups and the downs, and just seeing how PlayStation has just been tanking left and right, which we're going to talk about another issue that they're dealing with. But yeah, I mean, Xbox is just doing really well. And also they did confirm, well, it depends on how you interpret the words. Steam and all the other game stores are coming to the next generation of Xbox as well. So that's going to be fucking insane. Like being able to play on my console in the living room and have my entire Steam library, which isn't that big for me, but I do have a good bit of collection on there.
But It's probably going to end up like the Steam Deck situation where it's like what can play on your Xbox, you know,
Mhm.
do we
Yeah,
have the code for all these games,
yeah,
you
I'd
know,
definitely
things
be
like
curious because like the biggest question mark right now is like, what about all of the PlayStation exclusive games that are on Steam Marketplace? Are you going to be
Mhm.
allowed to play those then on your Xbox?
I would assume so.
That's where I'm
I,
at.
I I would assume so because you have the Steam, and as far as
But like the
what
Steam
games
Deck
you
though is
have
the
on
thing.
Steam, well, the Steam, I don't think it's gonna be as
The
limited as
game
the
has to
Steam
be
Deck.
compiled to be able to run on the
Like,
device.
yeah, and I don't. But with that said, I don't think it's gonna run into the same issues and restrictions that the Steam Deck did.
Hmm.
The Steam Deck was like, hey, how's this gonna run on this fucking
Little device,
super
yeah. That's
micro
why it had to be
portable
verified.
fucking
Yeah.
like it has
Yeah.
zero like real true processing power, things like that, versus the Xbox that I don't think there's going to be a huge problem going from a Steam game into the Xbox console. Porting may be an issue at some point, but it's not going to be the same issue as it would be like going from a PC down to your basically PC Switch, as it were.
Yeah.
Like to you're not making that huge of a jump from games that can run up here and were built for here to games that will have to be ported down to here, maybe for the Xbox, maybe.
But it just
Um,
depends because like right now my Xbox is technically more powerful than my PC, without a doubt.
well, and that's because all of those are designed to work together, and like they take extra precaution to make sure that all of those things will work together, no matter what, always.
Yeah.
They are all designed for Xbox. So instead of seeing like a processor as a standalone piece, it's a processor built for an Xbox, which
Hmm.
is designed to sit in a motherboard that was built for the Xbox. Like that sort of thing. I don't think there'll be a huge issue. I think porting might be a little bit of a difficulty that people will have to face. Um, but I really don't think the Steam library is going to be very limited when it comes to being played on the Xbox. We've already seen so many games that they're built for Xbox and PC. Like there's not really
And they
a
should
lot of
share
difficulty
they
playing
should share
either of
similar
them.
languages to both being a Microsoft product in a way. But like
Yeah,
I get,
English.
but I feel like PlayStation versus an Xbox Two is even like dramatically different. Like
They can.
I feel like
So
making a
yeah,
game for an Xbox and a PC is more similar than making a game for an Xbox versus a PlayStation. But
agreed. But don't forget that a lot of PlayStation exclusives are now available to PC players
right, via Steam. That's
through
why
Steam.
yeah, that's what I was curious about.
So
Like, once I have my Steam library on my Xbox, can I play the PlayStation exclusives then? And like, can PlayStation then say, "Well, we're revoking games from Steam"? That's going to cause a very bad uproar. Or like, how does that work? Like, I'm really curious to see on how like legality even how that's going to work.
I don't know. You'll probably get a pop up saying "Nice try, broke boy," and then just you can't play it.
Sorry, you need a PlayStation account to sign in to play this.
Can't do that.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be a wait and see moment. But nonetheless, just one last thing from Xbox was their announcements of the Game Pass additions and departures. For the additions, we got FBC Firebreak, Cloud, PC, and Series. I'm super excited to check that game out. That's that cooperative game set in the Control and Alan Wake universe. Then we got Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, also already out on console and PC. Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, out now on Cloud, PC, and Series. Game that I'm super excited to check out. I just recently beat the first one in that series like a couple years ago, and that was a really fun game and really excited to check that out. Rematch is also out now on Cloud, PC, and Series. This is the game from the guys who made Sifu. This is a soccer game that, funny enough, plays very similar to like how Rocket League plays, but like you're back to playing with real people and not cars, and you're playing soccer. So it's a very arcade feel to it. It looks pretty cool. Then on the 24th, we're getting Volcano Princess on all platforms. Against the Storm on the 26th for cloud and console. Also on the 26th, we're getting Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 remastered for the PC. We're getting Call of Duty World War II on the 30th for console and PC. Little Nightmares 2 on July 1st, and Rise of the Tomb Raider also on the 1st. So another big, massive, really, really good batch of games coming to Game Pass. the only two games that I don't know about personally are Volcano Princess and Against the Storm, but I can say all the other ones are pretty solid games that are being added to the service. Have you guys played any of the Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 remasters at all?
Not the remasters.
Not the remasters, no.
Gotcha. Would you check them out now that they're being added to Game Pass, or did you guys like not really enjoy the OGs?
No, the OGs were
I might
amazing.
play through 1, 2, and 3 remastered if they're free. When since they're coming out free, maybe. But when do I have time?
Right.
Like, is
That's
it
fair, that's
more?
fair.
Is it going to be more fun to play Warcraft, or is it going to be more fun to play, Kingdom 2 Crowns? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But yeah.
I hear you.
My man's trying so hard. My man's like, so what are you doing after
but
this?
but obviously we see like some games that come out that are remakes or remasters still drive you to want to play them. Hence,
Mhm.
Scott over there playing Oblivion remake.
No, the prequel sequel.
The prequel sequel that wasn't okay, but yeah. And then as for the game's departure,
Man, brain stopped.
I had no idea where I was going, so I was like, let's just move on. But yeah, the game.
I agree. Segues are weird.
Yeah, game departures are leaving on the 30th. We're losing Arcade Paradise, Journey to the Savage Planet, which is the first game of the game that we talked about earlier. My Friend Peppa Pig, shout out to that game. That was fun to play with my daughter. Robin Hood, Sherwood Builders. Roger, I think that was the game that you were playing, I think. Or is this a different Robin, the Sherwood game?
Yep, that was it. And it was all right. But, all I'm saying, Kingdom 2 Crown.
And then SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2 are both leaving the services. So don't know
Roger's
much
like 3 minutes from scratching his neck, just going like,
oh, I need more. No, but the thing
Just
is,
a
like,
little bit,
we're
just a little
basically
bit,
at the end of the
just to get
game
off.
too. Like, we just got to the 5th and final
Mhm.
island. We got to build that shit up and then go blow up the last thing, and then we're done with that game.
just to take the edge off, man. He just wants to.
No, I've been the same way.
Yeah,
I hit him up like last night at like 9 something. Like, yo, what are you doing, bro? You trying to play Crowns? he didn't even respond back to me at all. I was like, I guess he's sleeping.
I see it and I'm like, well, sleeping, I think.
Oh, shit, y'all were still awake at 9:30. Fuck.
But
I did
yeah,
like the ultimate dad move, and I fell asleep on my recliner,
bro.
and I just.
So the Red Sox have been on a 9-game West Coast skid, so they've been playing at like 9:40 or 10:20, and I've been trying to stay up to watch the game. The other night, the game was at 10:20 or whatever start time, but okay, when I was putting my daughter to bed, she was like, She wanted me to lay in the bed with her, so I did that. I fucking fell asleep, and I was like, well, I guess I missed that game. Again, my dad, I look at my text messages, right? And my dad texted me like 1 something in the morning, like, oh, that was a big win, shit like that. I'm like, well, I missed it because I went to bed and I didn't want to go to bed, but I ended up going to sleep. And here we are.
You wake up, you're like, oh my god, it was. I've been partying ever since, man. Sorry for the late text. And then just.
When I was like, fuck. Like, man. But, all right, we only got 2 more news topics here. We are making great timing. Roger, let's talk about PlayStation.
Why, man? Why you gotta make me deliver bad news? And honestly, I don't think this is PlayStation's fault either. So, I just want to start off by saying I don't
Preface
think
it.
PlayStation is at fault here. I think, honestly, this is Meta, Facebook, Facebook, the OG name.
Yeah.
Facebook's decision after they bought the Quest a few years back, they really want to make sure they push this device to get as many sales on their platform as possible. And I think they were threatened by the PSVR because it turns out the number 1 selling title on PSVR 1 and 2 is Beat Saber. It is the number 1 selling title. Nobody else has beaten it. It has always won the top for most selling. Even PlayStation's games for their own console can't beat it.
Well, it's the quintessential VR game.
Like, you have to have it.
It really is.
It was like when you got an iPhone, the first game you downloaded was Subway Surfer, or Temple Run. My bad.
Yeah, and
or if you use Samsung,
there's
you get
100
whatever
of
they
them
install on your fucking OS that week.
Mhm. And with this, they're pulling Beat Saber from the PSVR systems. They're going to be removing multiplayer, and then they're ending support, so they won't get any new content. So you have what you have, and that is it. Nothing new.
Wait,
from
so
there on.
they're pulling it?
Yeah, you can't buy it.
Yeah, they're ending support for it.
You can't buy it. If you have it, you get to keep it, but there is no multiplayer anymore. So you can only play single player Beat Saber because I guess it was selling too well and people weren't buying the copy for the meta store.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
as somebody who loves like playing with himself and beating it by himself, like that's great. But like this is, I didn't realize that. So basically, off of the itinerary, I thought they were just taking off the support for it. I didn't realize they were pulling all of that. That's
Yeah,
huge.
They're going to be from here on in. You shouldn't expect any further updates. Music packs, and multiplayer support will be discontinued January 21st.
yeah. But I feel like I'd take a
Yikes.
different take on this, and it's the fact that they Sony themselves have stopped producing PSVR 2s, and they wind down support even for that. They kind of just said we failed because the PSVR 2 has significantly failed. So I feel like no one wants to buy their games on the PSVR 2, but the people that did, they're like Scott was saying, like there's one game that you're going to download on your Quest or your VR, and it's going to be Beat Saber, no matter what platform it's on. Where like the Quest per se, they actually do have a lot of great fucking VR games on that shit that review extremely well, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 games that are really good. So people have moved on from Beat Saber, from that.
But the
But a
thing
lot of
is
people
though,
also haven't.
like
Or haven't.
the computer title for Beat Saber doesn't get the same support that it gets on the Meta store. Like the Meta copy of it, the Quest store copy of Beat Saber gets a lot more support and a lot more without modding the game, it has better quality than the PC one. Now, once you talk about modding, the PC one just like is fucking awesome, but
Yeah.
that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that the PlayStation VR was just failing.
We
Tremendously.
knew it from day one. It failed.
We called it.
They
We
stopped
called it.
We called that shit. We called that shit.
Because when they announced that,
Before
like,
even happened.
hey, we're
Yeah.
going to have 2 million units ready, we're like, they're very optimistic. They think that
Super
they
optimistic.
really think they're going to sell 2 million, and the first one didn't even sell like 1.5 million, but they thought the second one
Mhm.
was going to sell double or more.
But it's better, guys. It's better. It wasn't.
It
It
wasn't.
never was.
Yeah, you still had to buy the $550 console before you can buy the $500 headset.
I just feel like I feel like at this point, like you just lean in to what is your bestseller and you just support that at this point. So this has to be, in my mind, like the makers of Beat Saber going somewhere else.
Yeah. Why
Like you
waste all
said,
the resources on the
it's on the Quest.
PlayStation one?
Like you said, it's on the Quest. Like
Mhm.
this is pretty much nailing coffin for the VR2. Like that's really it at the end of the day.
Yeah, because if you're not going to be able to buy Beat Saber, what are you going to play on it?
Fucking nothing else. Fucking
Yeah.
literally nothing.
So Beat Saber is number 3 on metas. You got, excuse me, Gorilla Tag, Animal Company, then Beat Saber, then Blade and Sorcery, and then VR Chat, which is 5.
Forgot about Gorilla Tag. Fuck.
Forgot about Blade and Sorcery in that VR chat.
Yeah,
Who wouldn't love that?
there's
Anchors.
VR chat, dude.
Anchors,
That is
cornerstones
a
of the industry.
fucking-
Those are.
But yeah, I mean, we
Ugh.
said it a long time though. Like the VR market is such a niche market that it's
Mhm.
going to be something really tough because like
You have to have a lot of money to begin with.
you got to have a
Yeah,
lot
like,
of space. You got to have a lot of money especially if you're going to be a PlayStation VR. You got to, because the Quest, you can just fucking buy that shit for $300 or whatever it was, the $300 or $400, and be cool. And that's all you needed.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm cool for gatekeeping cool shit, but like, you can't gatekeep at that price tag and still have dog water games when people are actually trying to play it, and like, you can't be
It's
that
just-
bad at it.
The development for it was so bad. Whereas like Meta, they're not really making their games; they're just selling the.
They are
They've
the
got a
platform,
better
that's it, yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a platform just like the iOS store. And they're competing with the PC market, but the PC market requires you to have a actual comparable PC.
Right. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the VR market continues to evolve. Honestly, I mean, we were just talking about how Xbox is getting a branded Quest headset, and kind of see what goes on from there.
Yeah,
But
so last thing here for Sony is they decided, I guess, finally that like live service games aren't the way to go. So Bungie's newest game, Marathon, is now indefinitely delayed after alpha test feedback was like, this is hot dog water. Like, honestly, I would not feed this to my dog because it would die.
that's one of the problems. The other one was because of that other issue we covered with the lawsuit of using assets from another artist. And then they go to
Mhm.
find out that there was more than just that, and it was everywhere. So they had to basically scrub through the entirety of the game to find all of the fucking art that was used in like illegally. So they
Mhm.
were like, well, we're fucked. And then like you said, on top of it, the game from even from all of the like streamers and people that's been going out to like play these alpha tests have been saying like, we don't need this, bro. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing different or better that's going to make me want to play your game? Nothing. You're just an extraction shooter with nothing else to offer with it. I already have an extraction shooter. There's thousands of them out there. Like, why do I need yours? And you're just trying to
Mhm.
base it off of an IP that wasn't even that big back then because the OG Marathon was a Mac exclusive. Who the fuck gamed on Mac? Like 10 people?
No one.
Like you're talk
It was
about
like 12.
you talk about a niche market. That was a heavily niche market, and to be honest, it still is. Like nobody games on a Mac. They're getting better where you can actually game on it and it be fucking comparable without bricking and fucking up. But like you still don't game
I
on a
mean,
Mac.
my man, I was in college, played League of Legends one time, and Jordan and I sat in a loading screen for 10 minutes. We loaded in, and we were like, yo, who the fuck has the MacBook? And one guy on the enemy team's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh shit.
It's real. Yeah.
It was a joke.
Yeah. But yeah, they're just trying to ride the hype of an IP that nobody even fucking knows about. Like the average consumer probably has no idea what Marathon is, that it even existed beforehand. Like if it wasn't for us that cover this kind of stuff, that's into gaming the way that we are, yeah, we wouldn't
What's
fucking know.
Marathon?
But it's crazy.
Barely followed it.
It's crazy to think that we knew Bungie, right? What was Bungie?
Mhm.
Halo. We didn't know that they made a fucking game before Halo.
Well,
And it
don't
was
forget,
Marathon.
Halo was called Project Marathon. The initial the first Halo was called Project Marathon, and that was
Yeah,
going to
and
be the initial title for it. And you just at some point you gotta feel bad for some people.
they're like, we
'Cause,
this was
like-
our pet project that we got started with, and it was like, all right, cool, keep it there. It is not worth it.
Yeah, like at some point, like you just gotta feel bad. Like Bungie, makers of Halo, are working on a project called Marathon, which was the code name for Halo, and they just get shit on like this.
Bungie's been
It sucks.
going downhill for quite
Yeah,
some
it
time.
sucks. Like, yeah,
It sucks that we're never going to see
kind of
that.
divested from them at the right time,
Yep.
and Sony isn't here to be the guiding light for them. And honestly, it might have even been Sony's like, hey, you guys got to make live service, and they're
Because
like,
it makes me
"Please,
wonder
no."
like what went wrong with Bungie, because like once Bungie left Xbox and they
well, it's because
they
Xbox took all their fucking developers when they fucking
probably they
left.
could you could be very very much correct, but then they went to
I am
they-
very
they-
much correct.
they were bought out by Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard owned them for quite some time when they helped them launch Destiny 1. And then they were like, "Oh, they're so bad, blah blah blah. Management's so bad. We want to go independent." They went independent. Destiny 2, it was so, and then PlayStation bought them up and now they're just as bad. It's just like who's really the bad
Yeah.
person? Like sometimes you got to start pointing the finger back at yourself and realize that maybe we're the problem.
Don't forget, the company went independent. A lot of the developers did not. So,
Mhm.
like, the company can leave, but, like, for example, when Bungie left Microsoft, a lot of their developers and a lot of their story writers and things like that did not.
They were like, nah,
leave
I'm
Microsoft.
staying.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm staying because this is good over here. Like, we're
Mhm.
drinking the Kool-Aid.
And it's crazy you mentioned it because they actually been
I'm
talking
not
about that
sure.
right now with PlayStation. PlayStation's been diluting Bungie, like, oh, you're a good developer, we're going to take you off of that, and we're going to put them on our
Exactly.
team because we need you over here working on Uncharted 7.
Exactly, which is why I feel bad for Bungie in this case, because like Bungie, a well-known developer, got Xbox literally off the ground. because the original Xbox came with Halo.
Yeah, without
If
Halo,
it
there is
wasn't
no
for Bungie,
Without Halo, there wouldn't be that. What
there's
are
no
we gonna use?
Xbox.
What are we gonna fucking play? Fusion Frenzy? Fuck out of here! Like,
Mind you, that was a great game, but it wasn't on
it was
Halo's
a great
level.
game, but it was a great game, but it was not an Xbox anchor, and it was
Halo-
not a
it
flagship
was adult Mario
And-
Party. I mean,
yeah, and that's what Halo did. And then as Bungie, left Microsoft, left these things.
well, and then Bungie they
just
left
got
Halo on
good
the
every
table. They were
time.
like, "Yeah, we're done. We've done what we wanted to do here in Halo." And it's like, okay, but like,
Halo wasn't
You
done
could've
being
just-
Halo.
like
Halo should have been done being Halo a long time before Halo stopped being Halo.
Mhm.
Let's be honest.
yeah, they
Let's
could
be
have
honest.
easily done something else. Halo was really
Halo
good though.
4 was already too much. Halo 5 outrageous.
Garbage. Yep.
It is fucking outrageous at that point.
I'd be curious to see what they do moving forward. But nonetheless, we do got one last topic here, Scott. What's going on?
We do. Konami, as we all know them, the fine makers of Yu-Gi-Oh! And many, many other games,
Up,
have
down, up, down,
announced-
left, right.
BA Select Start, have announced a Silent Hill 1 remake. So the remake is going to be developed by Bloober Team, known for their successful remake of Silent Hill 2 that sold over 2 million copies shortly after its release in October 24. And the announcement was made during the Konami Press Start Live showcase, No Relation, where a brief teaser was shown featuring the logo and music. So they're riding off of that Silent Hill 2 remake that was a lot of people loved, and they're dipping back in to more Silent Hill lore. What do we think? What are we looking at here?
I'm just curious why they didn't just start with one, but that could just be me.
Also, very curious.
That's just me. Like, if you already had plans to remake one, you should have just started with one. But like, they're doing the Resident Evil approach because they didn't remake one in Resident Evil. They started with like 4, I think, and then did 2 and
Mhm.
3. So it's
They
like,
go with a more iconic
yeah,
one.
whichever one was the most popular, you remake that and then you go back. I get it. And obviously, there's still hype for Silent Hill. Like, they just showcased the new Silent Hill F game, which doesn't take place in Silent Hill, which is confusing in its own. But I've they're called classics. I remember playing them as a kid, but I haven't played 2 remake. Bloober Team
And, like-
never got me off to a good start with playing the medium because I was like, man, what the
And-
fuck happened with this game?
So the thing to keep in mind is why they're going back to 1. They started with 2 because the most iconic character in Silent Hill comes from Silent Hill 2.
Pyramid Head.
Yeah,
You got it.
Yep.
Pyramid Head being the most iconic character from Silent Hill is honestly why they probably started with 2, because that was his debut game.
Oh, for sure.
I have like artistic cards that my friend gave me. It was like,
He said from the left bleachers.
From the other side of the fucking world.
yeah, my bad.
Uh-oh.
I'd have to find them some other time, but yeah, I had these like collectible cards that were like artist drew, and it was like a pyramid head, and it was like one of like 50 or some shit. It's badass. But yeah, I mean,
Better hold on to that shit.
a lot of cosplayers do pyramid head all the fucking time. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Like, if you don't know
A lot
who
of
pyramid
those
head
super tall cosplayers.
is.
Not at all jealous about that.
But yeah, I
But-
mean, it's cool. It's crazy to think that they're already working on that one because they still have Chronos, the New Dawn or whatever their next game coming out, in October. So maybe they have already moved on to that. But I was surprised because like Silent Hill 2 just came out. Then they had this other game come out. I mean, they could have multiple teams, but I didn't think they were that big of a studio to have 2 teams yet. But I mean, if Konami's
Well, it's all
backing
the people
them
that
or
stole
whatever.
from Bungie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. This is like a 1 remake is good. 2 remakes, franchise. Are we looking at like?
Is it going to end up like the
we're gonna have
Resident
Silent Hill
Evil,
2
where
remake,
everything
we're gonna
gets
have-
it?
Yeah.
We're gonna we have the Silent Hill 2. Now we're gonna have Silent Hill.
They got to make 3 then.
Are we gonna see something in the future that maybe these 2 games are being remade to bring the franchise up to speed, and then now we're gonna get new releases.
That is crazy.
I mean, it's a huge genre. People love Silent Hill. Like at this point it would be, money money left on the ground if they didn't do something after this. So like a little bit
Yeah.
of conspiracy brain going on. Like, are they doing this in an effort to get people playing 1 and 2 and then maybe moving on to some more sequels after this?
Yeah, I just think
So
we're in an interesting part of gaming because it's 1,000 times cheaper to remake games and remaster games than there are to create new games from scratch because the developmental costs are like going through the fucking roof for some reason. Unless you're Expedition 33 and you can make a game with 30 people and make the best game of all time.
Well,
But
that's a lie though. Expedition 33 wasn't made with 30 people.
it
Like
was
it
it
like
was
was
made with
made with
33 of them.
hundreds.
it was 33 of them or whatever it was. It was like 30 some
The
people.
develop the developer said no, that's not correct because they had a bunch of studios helping them.
It was
Like
33 to
yes,
develop.
the main studio is only 30 people, but they had hundreds of people across other studios that helped them. They even called out Jeff Keighley and like, dude, you're lying. That's
Mhm.
wrong. Don't say that. Like
Yeah.
because it puts bad press on these studios because it's like no game development of that quality is way more than 30 people.
Well, plus, like, you have to, like, at that point, like, if you have all these other
Mhm.
studios helping you, and then Jeff Keighley's up there going, it took 30 people to make this game, and that's it. And you're like, no, like, these people helped us. Like, you want to make sure that they get their bread, make
Yeah,
sure they
that
get
too.
their,
Yeah.
like their
Yeah, we
recognition.
didn't do it alone. There were like
Like,
hundreds
this
of
was, yeah,
people.
this was a not an alone sort of deal.
But back
Yeah,
to
I saw a big thing right after the game, the game award or the summer showcase. There was a big fire back from the developers. They tweeted at Jeff and they were like, "Yo,
Yeah.
dude, shut the fuck up. You're
I do
wrong."
remember
Like,
reading it. It's just like
yeah.
what did those other developers do? And it's just like why did they not get really credited for it in the
No. The
credits
thing
too?
is, they don't work for the studio, so they don't get their individual names. It's like, oh, okay, hey, this studio helped us. This studio helped us, and you just call out the studio.
Yeah, I just be curious to see like what did they actually help and how much help.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just like, oh, I answered their question, I helped. Like, is
Mhm.
that considered helping?
That still helps. Hey,
Yeah.
if you're okay, if you're a developer and you need a question answered, and then nobody answers it for like 12 hours, and then somebody comes back and goes, oh, it's this, would you consider that helped? Would you consider yourself helped?
Well, yeah, but
Well,
it's just
yeah,
like
so
I don't know.
well, no, so you
Yeah,
can't,
it's
so
it's a tough one.
like even if it's even in its smallest form, like help is help.
Yeah,
Like
but
that's it.
it's
Hey, I
important
can't
to
get this shit
accredit the
right. Can
people
somebody
who
else?
were a part of it.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like lately, as you were to just get back on topic here, you were talking about you were talking about like how games are just new IP development is so hard,
yeah.
and the thing is, it's because the essence of true good game development has disappeared.
Mhm.
Like there are new IPs everywhere.
Yeah.
But the problem is like the market is oversaturated with special interests now that it just makes it hard to do anything. Because like you get stiff armed by the big three, Tencent, Microsoft, and Sony. Like if you're not publishing on them, you have to go through Steam Greenlight, and like that's just wrecks your profits half the time too.
Right. Talking about being oversaturated, just put in perspective, there were 19,000 new games released in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And like even Jeff Keighley talked about it on his show. He was like, the hardest part about the games industry is discoverability, and that's the hardest thing. But like the games industry is dominated by the big AAA market, like Ubisoft
Yep.
and EA and Xbox and PlayStation. Like they like if you're these independent games, like if you don't get highlighted at these shows, your game is probably 9 out of 10 not going to get played by many people at all, if at all. Because
Yeah, and
honestly,
that's like
like
the problem.
look at
The
Expedition
benefit
33. Like if that game wasn't showcased by Xbox or Summer Games Fest or the Game Awards, that game would have went underneath everybody's fucking radar, no matter how great that game would have been. But that game was brought to the forefront.
Yep.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. Like when you think about it, like you said, 19,000 games. Like just last year alone. Like you almost have to force yourself to play something that isn't a big name.
Mhm.
You like have to absolutely like force yourself to be like, okay, this is some random indie developer that I've never heard of. I'm gonna play this game just because I will never have
And
heard of
honest,
this or really get a chance to see this. Like, I'm going to play this game. And that's truly where a lot of the great games are made.
yeah. And what I really liked what Xbox has done. I mean, I'm sure everybody else has done it in their own way, but they started doing like indie selects, like monthly ones, and then like they'll have like 2 or 3 categories, and then, like you can just go through like they're nothing but fucking indie games that you would never have fucking seen at all, and you're like, oh, this game looks dope. So I just added to my fucking wish list, and like I bought a couple of them and played them, and they literally only be like 2-3 hours experiences, but like they're games that I would not have played if I wouldn't have gone through that indie selects page and to find them. Like it's really dope that like being able to bring awareness to some of the smaller games is really great because Roger, I mean, you talk about it all the time is like indie games and double A games is where it's at. Like that's really what's been keeping the games industry afloat, in my opinion. Obviously, you get the one off when it's a big AAA game and it's fucking huge and it breaks records and shit.
And AAA games, they're always gonna turn a big profit typically, and like they could be the hottest garbage. Like let's just be honest, Call of Duty still exists, and like sometimes it's great, but like other times it can be hot dog water, and people are like, still bought it.
Yep. And the issue with Call of Duty is that there is no competition within
Hmm.
the first person genre because how can an independent company really get into that marketplace? Because to be able to fight in that marketplace, you have to have a lot of players. But if you're not being
Yep.
discovered or being able to retain them players, you're never going to be able to compete. Where Call of Duty and their name alone is going to fucking retain everybody. And if they put out a new fucking skin pack for $40 and it's John Wick or the Ninja Turtles, they're going to fucking beat everybody because that
Well,
shit wins people over.
there's so many people that have tried over the years, Valorant, X Defiant,
Even
like
Battlefield themselves
all the
can't even
but
compete.
all these games that were
That's because
inherently
Battlefield's
so
bad.
good.
They're just a bad developer lately. And
Battlefield
that's the
bad
other thing.
sometimes. I'll agree with that. Battlefield bad sometimes.
Well, hopefully this new one's
And
not. They have like 8 developers working on it, like Call of Duty does. Like 8 studios, my bad.
yeah.
So that'll be
Yeah,
very interesting.
yeah. It's just ridiculous when you see things like that. Like, I wish a lot of these indie developers got a lot more screen time than some of the AAA counterparts that consistently put out unfinished games or games that are just plain bad. Or in Call of Duty's instance, like just run of the mill what you expect from a Call of Duty, and like that's it. Like, and
And
then
to
it's really built around the multiplayer and maybe like the Warzone counterpart for that game.
Hmm.
So yeah,
was-
it's exciting.
again, let's shout out Game Pass because they've helped me discover a shit ton of fucking indie games. Roger, the game that we're playing right now with Kingdom 2 Crowns, I wouldn't even know that shit fucking existed if it wasn't for it to being on Game Pass. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like,
Yeah.
even if I would have scrolled by, like, no. Like, I would have just scrolled past it. Wouldn't even thought twice
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
Game Pass has
Honestly,
been
I
amazing.
I probably
It
wouldn't
really
play half
has.
the games I played lately just because they weren't, I don't have the money to just blow on
Well,
game
that too,
after
yeah.
game. I'm buying trading cards. Like that shit's expensive.
Well, that's the why. No, yeah, I hear you. But let's
I'm,
just circle it back in real quick with Konami making Silent Hill 1 remake. I am curious to see when it drops because, like I was saying, that like they've had 2 development teams working on games already. Like, how far along are they? And we talk about it all the time is like announcing games too early. For instance, Elder
Mhm.
Scrolls 6, that shit was announced like 7 years ago, and we still don't even have an idea when it's coming out. Like, whether I don't even think it's coming out next year. Like, I think it's 2027 guaranteed. Next year is supposed to
I
be,
will play that
hey,
shit in a retirement home. I will play that shit in a retirement home. Is
that's how
exactly
I
where
feel
I'm gonna
about
play that.
Fallout 5 or whatever the next one is.
I'm gonna be on my deathbed. My whole family's gonna be there telling me they love me. I'm like, that's amazing. How's Elder Scrolls 6 doing? And then like that'll be it. They'll be like, oh, next year? Oh. And then
You're not even gonna get to play it.
it's been delayed again? Oh
And he just
no.
dies. And he just fucking
It's
dies.
been 92
So
years.
as far as Silent Hill is concerned, though, it's very early. They don't have specific release date or any really like details other than what they've talked about for the developer, and it's still very much in the early stages. So
Yeah, I do be curious to see
we'll see
like how many of the games they remake, because I just looked at it. There are 8 mainline Silent Hill games that have been made, and I'm like, they could really cash in if they remade all of them. Because that's just the way that the games industry is right now. It's all about remakes, and I'm against it. Like everyone knows that I'm against it because that's all what PlayStation has been doing is let's remake a game even though it just came out like a year ago, but let's remaster it
Last of
now.
Us.
Yeah. Like that's the only games
No,
they have.
we've talked about this. We've talked about this before. Every time they make a remake of an old game, I fear that we've gotten to the point to where we just don't make original games anymore. Everything is a
Well,
port of
the
something
big
or a
game
remake of
industry doesn't.
something. Yeah,
Right.
the big game industry doesn't, for sure, for sure. So it's always a little weird when you see like a remake that you're kind of happy about, and it's like, yeah, there's 8 of them, but like, really, how many of those were mainstream? How many of them were not just super niche, played by like dozens of people?
Yeah. Like, am I ever going to
Like,
get a Jade Cocoon remake or Slay remake?
where's my
Probably
par-
not.
where's my Parasite Eve?
Like,
Where's
and
my
and
where's my Legend of Dragoon?
and the thing to really think about here is just how big and bloated the game industry is because they can't take the risk. That's the problem. It's too expensive for them to
Mm-hmm.
risk a game that could completely flop. Look at Skulls and Bones.
Ugh.
Yeah.
The what?
That costs a lot of money.
Oh my god.
And that's the thing. It's like you have to be willing to take the risk. Like look at Disney for example. I hate Disney, but like they actually listen to their talent when somebody goes, "Hey, I have an idea." He said, "Okay, give us your idea, pitch it." Cool, awesome. That's a great idea. You're now the producer, and they're like, "Oh," like it's actually a space where like you can be creative, whereas these big game designers, it's formulaic, not
Well, even
creative.
Disney's
It's
going down that
science.
path the same way games are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remake and remaster all of our old movies
Right.
and TV
Live
shows.
action,
Just
live
make them
action.
live action, yeah. And they're just like, you. I mean, they didn't run out of new ideas because they do put out like one new movie, new idea, and you're like, oh, okay, but then it's surrounded by like 10 live action films, and you're like, you really don't have any idea on what to make anymore, do you? Like, I
Or
just don't.
no, the MCU keeps them afloat.
Or Star
Oh, for
Wars.
sure.
Well, the MCU and Star Wars alone keeps them afloat, without a doubt.
Yeah, so they don't have to worry.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's all the gaming news we have this week. Wasn't too exciting. Hopefully, next week will be a little bit more to go on. But any last remarks before we close out this week's episode, guys?
No.
Not for me, my man.
Other than we might see Scott a little less.
That's fair. Yeah. So for anybody watching right now, you will see me a little bit less. I am going to take a little bit of a back seat here at the Press Start podcast. This is in no way, shape, or form me quitting the podcast. I still love doing this, but because of just
Life.
limited time, I really life in that case. I'm gonna take a little bit of a back seat here, and I won't be here every Sunday. As much as I already haven't been. But I'll be more of a I'll take more of a special guest kind of role. Maybe some events that happen, Summer Games Fest, Game Awards. But for those that have been watching, and I do appreciate you so much. This has been so much fun. This has been honestly something to look forward to. But over the past year or so, it's gotten to a bit to where I really feel like I can't contribute as much as some other people here. So I do want to take that time and kind of just rest, relax, be with my family here. So I want to say thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast, and I will see you here in some way, shape, or form occasionally.
Maybe even if we have you in chat, you know.
Yeah.
Get throw it on while you're watching the Lion King remake, the live action.
I watched that in Qatar when it first came out, and brother, it wasn't good.
It's fair. It's probably because Beyonce ruined it. But Roger, anything from you, man?
No, just see you guys soon.
Oh yeah, we want to thank everyone who checked us out live today here on Twitch, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. But Roger, where can the community find you at?
You can find me on Discord, same place, same bat time.
And what about you, Scott?
You can find me on Discord as well, Scoby1, and you can find me here occasionally.
And you can check me out Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. You want a game, party up, hit me up there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any questions or concerns, or even if you want to come on the show, hit me up there. And I do have a Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, but it's been a long time since I streamed on there, so maybe one day I'll get back to it. But just make sure you support it just in case. But we do want to appreciate everyone again, and until next week, peace.
Restart podcast.